You're listening to the Electronic Media Collective Podcast Network. Yeah, it's a mouthful. For more great shows like the one you're about to enjoy, visit electronicmediacollective.com. And now, our feature presentation.
Hey everybody, and welcome to Comics with My Kids, the official podcast for the comicscornerbox.blogspot.com, where you can get reviews of comics for the whole family. I'm your host, Matt D. With me today is
Logan D.
So Logan, do you know what today's episode is?
Hilo.
Besides that, this is episode 50, the big 50. Can you believe that we have 49 other episodes before this one?
I can't believe we forgot to do the raffle you're talking about.
That's okay. Don't worry about the raffle.
When are we going to do that? 100?
Maybe. So, since this is our 50th episode, we decided to go back to a storyline that we all like, and that is Hilo. In particular, Book 8, Gina's Big Secret, written and drawn by Judd Winnick. So, Logan, you've read the first 7 books of the Hilo series. Did you want to give us a recap, or you want me to?
You go ahead.
Okay, so here we go. We're going to do this as quick as possible.
The story so far. There is a boy named Daniel Jackson Lim, or DJ for short, in a family full of kids that can do everything from play musical instruments, study advanced mathematics, and dance ballet. DJ sees himself as only able to be a good friend. On a day that DJ feels very lonely because his best friend Gina had moved away from their hometown, DJ sees a meteor strike the Earth.
Boom.
When DJ investigates, he finds a small boy in the crater wearing nothing but silver underpants.
Oh.
DJ takes the strange boy home and learns the boy has amnesia and occasionally gets pieces of his memory back. This boy eventually remembers that his name is Hilo and that he is from another dimension and that he isn't the only thing that fell to Earth. Mechanical monsters and pieces of something bigger had been falling through portals all over DJ's hometown of Burke County. Hilo must stop these mechanical menaces in order for this world to survive from a being called Razorwark.
Dun, dun, dun.
Okay. In defending the planet, Hilo discovers that he has superhuman powers,
Dun, dun, dun.
like laser blasts from his hands. Then, just when DJ starts to get to know his new friend Hilo, his old friend Gina comes back to live in their hometown.
Hola.
We also learn that Hilo isn't a superhuman boy, but a robot, and that he was built to help humans and also to defend humans from Razorwark.
Dun, dun, dun.
Eventually, other creatures cross the dimensions, in particular a magical cat named Pally from a place called Oshun.
Hola.
She lands on Earth. This cat helps out Hilo and his friends, and they form a Scooby Gang to help defend the Earth from robots, monsters, and strange grass-like creatures. Eventually, the team fights off the bad guys at Razorwark.
Dun, dun, dun. Why are you keep trying to hit me?
No, I'm giving you the signal to stop. Alright. Eventually, the team fights off the bad guys that Razorwark
Dun, dun, dun.
has sent, as well as help Pally with the troubles that she has back in Oshun, with a species of lizard dinosaur thingies called Scaletails. Of course, in order to save the day, Hilo must send everything back through the portal, and Gina is sucked in too, and stuck on the planet Oshun.
Where the bad guys are as dumb as the Palahammers. Well, actually, they're dumber than the Palahammers. Palahammers are smarter than lizards.
Yep. Hilo and DJ try to find a way to save Gina. They do find a way to cross the dimensions and wind up on Oshun several months after Gina got pulled through.
Oh no!
While on Oshun, Gina learned how to manipulate magic and become a sorceress.
Dun, dun, dun.
The kids make their way back to Earth only to find a group of magical beings called Nestors. They manage to help the Nestors, but in doing so, the Nestors travel back in time and screw with Earth's past. Now, Earth is a magical place with magical creatures, and Gina is convinced she's the cause of it all. Now it's up to her to save the world. That brings us up to this book. Oh, and throughout their adventures, Hilo has been turned into a real boy. However, unlike Pinocchio, he still has some cool powers. Now, on to the next chapter. Hilo, Book 8. Gina and the Big Secret.
These are chapters?
Well, yeah, it's the overall chapters of the book. So,
Oh.
All right, Logan. So how does this book start off, and what adventures awaits our crew?
Well, it first starts off with the normal introduction, but instead of it being DJ starting it off, this time it's Gina. So she's now the new leader. And this like setting of the book where they start off is inside this weird bubble that Gina created, which protected them when the world got changed. So now now, like you said, the world is magical. Because of that bubble, nothing affected them. Like, if something were to happen, like something attacked their houses and burned it down, and they were supposed to be in it, that shield bubble would have prevented them.
Okay. And then what happens after the intro?
Then they look around the new world and see it looks a lot like their old world. And Hilo starts off on the wrong approach. He walks up to some random aliens and starts asking questions.
But
and one of his top questions was, "Do you have mangoes?"
Right, because one of the things that's big in the book is that Hilo loves mangoes.
And he's got good jokes.
So you mentioned that he goes up to somebody. How does he greet them?
He walks up to them and starts yelling.
Yeah, because his favorite greeting is the ah. So after he starts off on the wrong foot, what then happens?
He doesn't actually say ah. He goes, "How do you do, buckaroos?"
Yep. Okay. So how does the story progress from there? What do we learn about this new magical Earth?
That Gina's house is still there, but Daniel, Jackson, Lim, DJ's is not.
Okay. And then what else do we learn about the world?
That some people are still there, like Gina's family is there still. Like her dad's there. They see her dad at the beginning.
Yep. And they also see the rest of her family. Don't we also see her sisters?
And purple trees.
Yeah. So what else do we learn about this magical world? Who really has... Do the humans have magic, or what about the magical creatures?
The magical creatures.
And then who do they run into just before curfew?
Some like the guards. And they found a way to get out of it. Hilo caused a distraction with some jokes.
Yeah. So what's some of the... What was one of those jokes that you liked?
How does a penguin build its house?
I don't know. How did the penguin build its house?
It glues it together.
It seems like this story kind of has surprises around every corner. Without giving away a big reveal at the end, is there something that you found surprising in the book?
That the sisters are nice.
Yeah, sisters are nice.
And also something else that I find really surprising is I forgot one of the jokes.
Okay.
How many tickles does it take to make an octopus laugh?
I know this answer because it's my favorite joke in the book as well. 10 tickles.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
One of the things that I found surprising is that the world isn't controlled by the humans anymore. It's controlled by the magical beings. In particular, a new monarchy. You remember what a monarchy is?
Yeah.
What's a monarchy?
It's like a king or queen.
Right. And they're going to have a coronation for some twins. And do you remember why the twins are going to be a monarch instead of just one of them?
Because they're twins. They can't figure out who's first.
Right. They can't. The mother doesn't remember who was born first, which I think is kind of funny because I'm sure that mothers across the world would know who was born first. I just find it funny that
she was trying to do other things.
Yeah, she's like, I was doing other things. I couldn't remember who was born first. So what do you think of this new Earth compared to the original one we got?
Well, compare from the first book to the 8th book. If you just read those two, nothing would make sense.
Okay, yeah, but what do you think about this world, this new magical Earth?
Cool.
So would you like to live in it?
Not really.
Why is that?
Because it's dangerous.
Yeah. And it seems like the humans are kind of like pushed off to the side, and the magical creatures are... I mean, there's whole parts in there where you find out that magical creatures are like doing things to the humans. Like the one monarch ended up dehydrating a florist.
Yeah, but the florist was an alien.
I don't think she was an alien so much as she was a magical creature. But still, the fact that they would just dehydrate a person.
Mm-hmm.
So I know I'm certainly worried about the two Limb characters, Daniel and his sister, because their family isn't there in this Earth. I'm hoping that they'll get their family back. I also hope that our team can stop the evil monarchy family that's ruling the Earth with an iron fist. What do you think about this monarchy?
One's an idiot and the one's always aggravating the idiot.
Yeah. They kind of definitely have a sibling rivalry going on.
All siblings do. Take me and Melody, for example.
Yeah. Is it just me, or are there a few lines in this book that kind of reminds you of the original Star Wars?
I didn't see the original Star Wars.
Oh, you have. You just don't remember it?
Once upon a time I did.
Yeah. Well, there's two lines, and I'm going to say one of the lines that hopefully won't
Makes sense.
give away the ending. But a certain character says, now that's a name I've not heard in a long time. Which I think is funny because that's the exact same thing that Ben Kenobi says to Luke Skywalker when he says he's looking for Obi-Wan Kenobi. I got a feeling that Judd Winnick is a big Star Wars fan as well. So, Logan, who's your favorite character in this book?
Hilo.
Yeah, why do you like Hilo so much?
I just think he's funny.
Yeah?
And I also like how they name the chapters. Like, Chapter 8 is called Oh, for Pity's Sake.
Yeah. Are there any other characters that you like?
I also liked, I can't remember what his name is, the little cat.
Oh, Pip.
Pipsqueak.
Pip. Now, I had mentioned in the recap that there's a character named Polly. Polly is actually my favorite character. I think she's a fun character, and the way that Judd Winnick writes her dialogue, I can't help but say it out loud with a Scottish accent. And what's really neat is because Polly's second level apprentice now, she has to take on her own apprentice. And that apprentice is her little brother, Philip. What's his full name? Do you remember?
Ooh.
Pip's full name.
No.
It's somewhere when we first meet Polly again, when she shows up on the New Earth. It's like after the crystal ball breaks open, Polly shows up. And what's really neat about I'm just gonna talk until you can find it. But what's really neat is that the character Pip is always hungry and always eating stuff.
Yeah.
So what's Pip's name?
Philip Ingvagnidis Sebastian Comariaco. Good luck pronouncing that.
All right, say this. Philip
Ignatius
Sebastian
Corimacco.
All right.
I do think he's funny.
So what are some of the funny things that Pip does?
Well, I don't really want to give this away, but did you see this?
Yes, I did see that.
The after scene's funny.
Yeah, it's the credit page.
Yeah.
It's not really giving away any ending to the book.
Well, on the credit page, Philip says, we're out of whatever this was because I ate it. And then, behind him, what's her name again?
It's DJ's sister. I can't remember what her name is.
Nor can I.
And what's funny is the way that Judd Winnick draws Daniel's sister. She's wearing a bandana the same color as Gina, so I sometimes get the two characters confused when they're in different panels.
After Philip said, we're out of whatever this is because I ate it, she said he drank 3 quarts of ranch dressing.
I can think of a few people in our house I can think of one person in our house that would drink ranch dressing.
Gladly.
So, all right, let's talk a little bit about the artwork. What do you think about the art style? How does it compare to other comics that you've read?
I like how they make the eyes change shapes. 'Cause at some points, like, Hilo's eyes are little black dots, or at other points, it's like something's happening, his eyes go really big.
Like I say, I really like the style that Judd uses in this book. It's kind of reminds me of like old cartoons, like Garfield, or I know you haven't read them, but there was these comic strips called Calvin and Hobbes, and it was very cartoony, and I like the way his style of cartoony backgrounds are. It's very very clean, very very colorful. Anything more you want to add about this book?
No.
All right, so if you got a chance to talk with Judd Winnick in person or on this podcast, is there anything you would like to ask him about Hilo?
What inspired him?
Yeah, okay. All right, buddy, well, are you ready for the rating of the book? All right, so our rating normally is buy, borrow, or forget about it, but I decided to change forget about it to bust, because that way we'd have 3 B's: buy, borrow, and bust. So listeners, here's the rating breakdown. The story is a buy if we feel like the story and art are so good that someone would read it again and again and again until the book is in tatters. Borrow if we feel the story is good, maybe the art is okay, but we would really only read it once or twice, and we borrow it from the public library or a friend. And then bust, well, like, it isn't worth picking this up, and you should probably just wait until your language arts teacher makes you read it. So, Logan, after our talk about the book and the breakdown you gave, what would you give this book?
Buy.
Buy? Well, you know what? I would give this book a buy as well. In fact, I would give the whole series a buy.
You already said that, though, and all the other ones we did, you called it a buy.
Well, yeah. So, I'm just stating again that it's a really good book to read, and I think it's fun for the whole family. The art is fantastic. Like I said before, it's got that fun cartoon style and some great establishing backgrounds. Pretty simplistic style that manages to convey the emotions of the characters, like you said, with the different eyes. Like, the actiony bits are really, really fun and entertaining. The story gives us a great sense of high points of the characters, and then it gives some real emotional breakdowns, and it teaches us about taking ownerships for our mistakes and doing the right thing to fix them. Why do you give it a buy? Sorry.
I give it a buy because it's really funny and I like jokes.
Gotcha. Well, folks, that's all we have time for Hilo, Book 8, Gina and the Big Secret. Come back next time and we'll be talking about another great kids comic. In fact, Logan, is there anything in particular that you'd want to read for the next episode?
Wings of Fire, as I've said before.
Okay. Also, don't forget to check out our Facebook page, Comics with My Kids podcast / The Comics Corner Box. Drop us an email at comicswithmykidspodcast@gmail.com, or follow us on Twitter at
Comics with My Kids.
Not to mention our website, thecomicscornerbox.blogspot.com. And finally,
give us a rating or review at Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, or Podchaser. In particular, check out our URL on Podchaser at www.podchaser.com/comicswithmykids. Your ratings help our show.
Also, we should mention that we are giving away comics, in particular some free manga samplers for the first 5 people to email us before June 1st, 2023. So if you want something free and fun, send us an email at the address we mentioned earlier, or take a look at the contact info in our show notes. Well, I'm Matt D.
And I'm Logan D.
Have yourselves a great night. Anything else?
Beep.
Maybe.
Beep, beep.
Hey, Logan. How do you make an octopus laugh?
By giving it tentacles.
Mm-hmm. Hilo and DJ try to find a way to save Gina. They do find a way to cross the dimensions and wind up in Ocean several months after Gina got pulled through. While on Ocean, Gina learned how to manipulate magic and became a sorceress.
Dun, dun, dun.
The kids make their way back to Earth only to find a group of magical beings called Nestors. They manage to help the Nestors, but in doing so, the Nestors travel back in time to screw with Earth's past. Now, Earth is a magical place with magical creatures.
I'm going to stop you right there. You stopped at book 2 and went to book 6.
That's fine. It's just a recap.
You didn't even bring in Izzy. She
okay,
came
well,
in here and died
I had
before
to,
that happened.
I'm just giving a broad overall story. I didn't include Izzy because it would just go off onto other tangents.
She turned Hilo human.
Well, let me finish reading the thing, okay?
Fine.
I sent this to you so you could read it. I was hoping you'd take a look at it before we recorded. All right, so where was I at? All right, I'm going to go back up to here. So, now.